Welcome to the TrotCast Revolution, presented by Diamond Creek Farms. I am Jay Hochstetler. I'm always joined by Ryan Macedonio, but we have a special man here tonight. It is the one, the only, Broski.
What's up, everybody? I got another show.
We got another show. That's right.
He got another show.
Broski, your popularity is just soaring, but no, still no social media, right? You're a dusty or whisper in the wind, right?
Yes. I'm a CGI generated character. Yes.
What I think we should do, Jay, is make a troll account for on Twitter, just Broski whatever. And this way we could just troll everybody. It's not actually Broski.
Fake Broski,
Yeah.
Okay, I've always wanted an alias.
You
have one, thanks to Broski.
There we go. So Broski, listen, this show's a little bit different on the Revolution than what you're used to on Harness My Take. You can't be going off in different directions. We're focusing on the topic. Okay. Jay, do you want to explain?
You gotta be serious
this is super serious show. So Jay, do you want to outlay what we're doing here?
Yeah, since everyone in the world loves lists and ranking things, as do I, we have decided upon ourselves to rank the top 10 drivers of basically kind of the last 5 years. It's kind of what we basically narrowed it down to. Some of it's more recent, 3, 4, basically the recent past best drivers.
Note, Broski, that I am a better ranker than Jay. So my list will be the definitive list. Jay, I let Jay kind of do his little list, but basically my list is going to be better. So, but for I want to be fair. Broski is going to be the official litigator. So Broski, get into character, put on your suit of litigation. He's going to go away. Jay, do you want to tell everybody how we're going to do this?
So basically, we're going to name, Ryan will name his number 10 driver. I'm going to name my number 10 driver. We'll have a little discussion back and forth. And then Broski is going to make a decision. And also, he's going to have a little twist to it. He's going to give his own personal ranking that isn't about drivers, but it's going to be related to the drivers in the end.
So Broski is giving us his top 10 sandwich list. Now, when me and Jay decide on who the top 10 and number 9 and number 8, they will become the official sandwich of harness racing. So now when we list a driver, they will be affectionately known as that sandwich according to Broski's rank of his sandwiches. Does that make sense?
Can I just interject one thing, Broski?
Go ahead.
I swear to God, if you name a hot dog in this list, I will literally come through this screen and I will punch you.
I was thinking of, just as a joke,
number 1.
When we get to number 1, and the number 1 is the hot dog.
The hot dog.
Yeah.
I would have immediately stormed out of here. There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh, no, there is no hot dog on this list. I promise.
Okay.
Thank God.
Now, listen. That's not saying Broski isn't saying that a hot dog is not a sandwich.
Oh.
He's just saying, I don't even agree that a hot dog is a top 20 sandwich. But we're still agreeing that a hot dog is a sandwich. Jay, I muted Jay here so he can't speak. He can just blabble on all he wants. But he's muted right now. So officially, these are the top 10 Broski sandwiches. This is the official TrotCast Revolution list of the top 10 drivers of the last whenever. It's our list. We decide whenever we want. So let's get this thing started, guys. Jay, you want to go first with your number 10 driver? Drum roll, please.
I'm going to go with a guy who is now retired, but he just kept killing it as he was going. I'm going with John Campbell, the GOAT, the absolute GOAT. He was still killing it up until the moment he retired. He's phenomenal. He kept getting good with age, and he just kept staying good. He never lost a bit, and he deserves to be on my list. I had to fit him in.
My number 10 is Scott Zeron. So, dude is ascending. He's already won a bunch of races. He was like the youngest driver to win. I don't know if he was the youngest to win the Hamiltonian, but he was the youngest to win the Jug, and dude's killing it.
Youngest to win a Triple Crown.
Yeah, youngest to win a Triple Crown. Dude's killing it. So, I don't think that he's quite there yet. He doesn't have a lot of the horses, but dude's killing it. So, I mean, listen, he's top 10. So,
he's coming.
yeah, he's
Don't
coming.
worry.
Listen,
No, I mean on my list, he's coming.
one guy's out the door and one guy's busting the door open. So who's the top 10, Jay? Are you willing to concede or whatever? John Campbell, spoiler alert, is not on my list. So I'm what do you want to do here?
Well, spoiler, Scott Zeron is coming up on my list. So
Okay. So,
I don't know what you want to do.
all right,
there.
so we'll put it on pause. Broski, let's unveil your number 10.
All right, my number 10 is the Oreo cookie. A little obscure, I know. But,
Surprise there. Okay.
But-
The Oreo
John-
cookie.
John Campbell is the
No.
Oreo cookie.
We didn't decide yet. Let's do a couple and then try to rearrange, or maybe at the
All right,
end
all right.
we'll kind of come up with. All right, so the Oreo. What's your favorite part about the Oreo cookie sandwich? Are we talking double stuffed, original?
I mean, you could
vanilla
go
cream?
either or. Not the thins, because, who wants the thins? You don't get hardly any cream. But,
Stuff.
I mean, an Oreo cookie, maybe you're like, what the hell? That's not a sandwich. It's a sandwich. It's a cookie
It's a
sandwich.
cookie
It says
sandwich,
it on
yeah.
the package. Like, let's be
Yeah.
real with this. But,
Nice glass of milk.
yeah. I mean, when you think of, like, what's a cookie, one of those mainstream cookies, when I think of one I want, it's usually an Oreo, and an Oreo's great. You can eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
You could twist it apart. You could have one chocolate wafer, another chocolate wafer with some cream. You got a lot of options. So the Oreo cookie. Although I do have an honorable mention, though.
Okay, go ahead.
All right,
Go ahead.
so-
It's your list, bro.
So the honorable mention, it was tough. The Oreo cookie or this, but I have to go with the ice cream sandwich.
Okay, like a chipwich or an ice cream sandwich, the traditional.
I guess you could go either way. Yeah, there's not too much difference between the Twipwich and the ice cream sandwich. It's still the vanilla ice cream on the inside usually, but it's a classic frozen treat. So that's my honorable mention.
Good start, Broski. Good start.
Well done.
Well
Broski.
done. I will go. We'll snake back and forth. How about that, Jay? I'll go number 9. Corey Callahan, the captain. He's starting to get a lot of Grand Circuit drives. I feel confident when Corey's driving a horse. I don't, if he's, I think maybe if he was getting a little bit more drives and maybe he focuses on the Grand Circuit a little more, he's going to ascend the list. But captain, great dude. He's going to be around for a while, so he's my number 9.
I am going with Doug McNair.
Oh, okay.
Doug he won a Breeders' Crown this year. He's driven several phenomenal horses. He does exceedingly well up in Canada and one of the toughest circuits to drive in, and he's young. I mean, he's doing this at an exceedingly young age. And I think, he's already a dominant driver and gets Grand Circuit drives, and he's just starting out, basically. He's been around forever because he started so young, but he has so much of his career left.
See, now Doug was in my honorable mentions because I was kind of like, well, Doug or Scott. That's kind of what I ended up doing, and I kind of thought that Scott had just done a little bit more, and I got a little bit more, touch more faith in Scott, which is not really saying much because, again, they're all great. So I'm gonna say Doug was probably like 12th on my list, but I ultimately made the decision to put Scott ahead of him. So that's our number 9. Broski, what's your official number 9? Drum roll, please.
Cheesesteak of my list at number 9. Cheesesteak. I mean, I'm not a big cheesesteak guy, so I gotta be honest. So it's every so occasion, but the typical, your white cheddar with the steak and maybe a little horseradish. I'm not too big into the horseradish, which is maybe
Any peppers thrown in?
a little bit of peppers.
A little bit of onions. Okay,
A little bit. But, I'm not a big fan of the cheesesteak, but every so often I'm like, you gotta have a good cheesesteak. So I'll put that at number 9.
Here's a question, Jay. Is a chicken cheesesteak a cheesesteak?
I think, it would be a steak.
But they call it
It's
cheesesteaks. A chicken cheesesteak.
I guess, the word steak is being used just kind of a general term there.
I think the steak refers to the type of, because they use shredded meat. So yeah,
Yeah, it's just kind of going to like the tradition of the original sandwich, and whatever meat you want to use is just going to be called it.
Okay, so Jay, move on to number 8. Who's your number 8?
Number 8 is now somebody we've talked about several times here. I have Scott Zeron. He did the extremely ballsy move of he was dominating Canada, and then he comes down without really a stable to totally back him to begin with, and he instantly just stamps his place at the Meadowlands, wins leading driver there, hooks up with some great stables, wins Breeders' Crowns, Triple Crowns, Hamiltonians at such a young age. And he doesn't most of his drives are not just go to the front and dominate. Like he is so clever with his strategy. He can win from off the pace. His drives on Merry Marauders 3-0 year were absolutely incredible. I mean, he was put in such tough spots, especially in the Kentucky Futurity, and he drove way past his age. It was incredible.
And came back to win a Hamiltonian a limb this year with international money.
Yeah.
So, listen, Scott's on our list. My number 8. Here's a surprise, and I have no actual statistics or facts to back this up, just like none of this guy's on this list, but I watched this dude drive, Mika Force.
Can you teach me how to dab?
Okay, I know he's from Finland. He's one of the top guys in Finland. This dude, I'm telling you, he destroyed everybody with bad horses. The best of the best was second, and only finished second because one of the horses, I forget what happened up there. This dude, I'm telling you, I know he's from Finland, and I know he doesn't have a big following, but this dude can drive, and I think if he were over here, I mean, he would destroy everybody. I mean, not even joking. Like he's one of those guys that you're like, wow, okay. So there's my number 8.
I wish you would have told me to go global with this, because there's somebody I'm going to not put on this list that
listen,
should be on here. I'm sure he's on your list, so I'm gonna.
It's
gonna wait.
Listen,
but I didn't even think about that.
Oh, I didn't think about, because I'm American and I don't think about global stuff.
Goddamn right.
That's your fault. I didn't restrict to America or North America. You went to Canada. You put in Doug McNair and stuff. You went to Canada, so why couldn't you make the trip across the pond to Europe? Why are you disrespecting our Swedish and French and everybody else, our UK and Australian
I can't
guys?
bet on the damn races, so I don't want to watch them.
Oh, Jay on his high horse. Broski, let's give your 8 official.
Pb&J. On the list.
Ooh, the PB&J. PB&J.
I mean, I figure you can't really go wrong with PB&J. It's a classic sandwich from everybody's childhood.
Now, how do you construct your PB&J?
Oh, this is a
big
thing. Yes.
Is it too how many parts jelly to peanut butter? Like what do you do there?
I go with a lot of jelly. You know what? I probably go with the same amount. I do a decent amount of peanut butter and a decent amount of jelly on separate pieces of bread. And I.
Yes.
I have a suggestion for you that somebody changed my life with last week.
Okay, go ahead.
Actually, sure I did. I'm big on jelly. I totally agree there. But put a lot of peanut butter on the outside rim so the jelly doesn't fall out.
Okay,
Ooh.
I like that.
You mean on the jelly bread?
Yeah, like you're gonna put a little kind of barrier to keep the jelly in. So you always have that stuff falling out and you lose some jelly. This solves that problem.
That is actually. I watched. Okay, so let's get some things out of the way. So if you put peanut butter and then jelly on the same piece of bread, you're a savage. Stop listening right now.
You're a monster.
Stop listening right now.
It's terrible.
I literally ended a 3-year relationship with my ex-girlfriend because I asked her to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and she did that. So there's the way.
We didn't find out earlier.
It's a shame. It should be. Kate, listen. First date, I made her make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. She made it the right way, and that's why we're together for 2 years. So I didn't waste time. So that's the thing. How do you cut your peanut butter, or do you not cut it? Do you eat it with crust, without crust? These are I'm not as strict on that stuff. Go ahead, Jay.
Let's just we're smooth. We're non-chunky people, right?
Yeah.
I prefer the creamy. Yeah.
Cream. Okay, because I'm not I don't want to eat concrete chunks.
Yeah. If I wanted some peanuts, I'll have some peanuts. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
Crust on or crust off?
Always been just leave the crust on. Too lazy to
Yeah,
take
I'll
the
just
crust
eat
off.
whatever.
I don't.
Okay.
Sometimes
Okay,
I
and
will cut it in half, so I have two little, bite-sized pieces, and sometimes I'll just eat the whole thing.
Well, how are you cutting it? X or
Straight down the middle.
Straight down. Okay, how down the middle? Like with the part down the middle, or are you cutting it with the top half
Vertically.
vertically? Okay. Fair. Listen,
Okay.
all fair. We that's a debate for another time. Can I give the ultimate peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I go triple decker on mine too. I go
Okay.
peanut butter jelly
Ooh.
thing, and then so I go triple decker. But the ultimate peanut butter jelly sandwich. Here's what you do: you get peanut butter, almond butter, grape jelly, strawberry jelly, orange marmalade. Right?
Mm.
Oh my.
And okay, so what you do to make an ultimate peanut butter and jelly sandwich is you take it's 3 and 3. So you take your peanut butter, you could take your chunky peanut butter and your almond butter. One row on the bread, we're in the middle, boom, boom, boom. And then you take the jelly bread, one row of strawberry, one row of grape, one row of orange marmalade. In the middle, drop a fluff. Boom. Ultimate peanut butter jelly sandwich. Thank you.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
It is. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Okay. So, any last things on the PB&J? No.
No,
We're
I
good?
mean, I
Get
feel
some
like
ideas out there.
there's many different ways you can, customize your PB&J, but ultimately it comes down to it's still a PB&J, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So number 7. Whose turn is it? Jay? Is it?
Yours.
It's mine. George Knapp. Dude, over the last 15 years has just been a winning machine at Pocono and Chester. I think he won the most wins one of the years over the last couple years between, I don't know exactly what year, but the dude's a winning machine. You want him to win races. Yeah, he hasn't won Grand Circuit races and stuff like that, but I mean, if he wanted to, I think he would be fine, like competing in any of the other races. He just wants to live his life, and dude's a winning machine. So
He was on my honorable mention list. I had him. The reason I didn't is that reason. Like, he never ventures out to go again the Grand Circuit. And I think to these top 10 guys, like they sacrifice just straight up winning races to go after the big jewels. Like I think several of these guys, they could win a lot of races if they strictly focus on that, but they don't because they're after different things. My number 7 is Trace Tetrick. He absolutely dominates Indiana. He goes over to Ohio, destroys everybody there. He's the leading driver at Miami Valley, and he's going to be the lead driver at Hoosier yet again, as he always is. He's gone out. He won 2 Breeders' Crowns, but that just last year. He's won a Breeders' Crown the year before with Freaky Feet Pete, or the year before that. The guy, if he doesn't need to go out east, but if he wanted to, his talent is just through the roof, and he's proven that time and time again.
Well, I don't think Trace needs to go out east because there's plenty of money right where he is. So yeah, Trace was on I think he was number 11 on my list. Just kind of, it's hard for me to ignore George winning 700 races a year. I mean, he was always like 1 or 2. So I understand why you didn't put him on, but that's why. So give us your number 7 sandwich, Broski.
So my number 7, I'll explain it. It's the chicken Caesar wrap. Maybe people are like, well, what the hell? But this is my go-to for when, I'm not feeling like I want something real filling for lunch or whatever. I just want something light. I figure you can't go wrong with chicken Caesar wrap. You got your lettuce, your Caesar dressing, your chicken. It's all there in the wrap. It's light. It's not gonna, bog you down. So I gotta put in, my eating healthy option would be the chicken Caesar wrap.
You know what? That's actually fairly comparable to Trace Tetrick. He's a very kind of soft-spoken, but
Yeah.
super healthy. He's excellent, but he's never gonna overwhelm you or anything. Like, that is Trace Tetrick.
Okay, so
absolutely.
Trace Tetrick is
Absolutely.
the chicken Caesar wrap of horse racing. We'll say that.
Trace Tetrick, you are the Caesar wrap of horse racing. So absolutely, that is perfect. And he's even green. I mean, green and yellow. Trace Tetrick.
Perfect.
They're not like perfect. Going to number 6. Jay, is it your turn? Your turn, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I got the winning machine, Aaron Merriman. This guy just wins. He doesn't matter where he goes. He wins at an ungodly rate. He's pretty much gonna win the Dash title. He won last year. He probably will win it this year because the man is an absolute machine. You'd like to see him do more on the Grand Circuit, but he's working so damn hard to win all these races. He doesn't get out there all the time, kind of similar to Georgie Knapp, and he's still pretty young. I mean, all he needs is one stable to kind of put their trust in him, and I think he immediately becomes a Grand Circuit.
Absolutely. My number 6 guy is another type of winning machine, Jason Bartlett, winning basically every title for I don't know how many years, 6-7 years at Yonkers, always at the top. All these guys have come in, yet they can't seem to out-top Jason Bartlett. So, I mean, it's something you can't ignore. Jason is another one that will probably, he's starting to go on the Grand Circuit a little bit, but he also doesn't care. He's got a family. His son's AAU games are more important than winning horse races. Now, if you want to talk shit about that, like, maybe you need to reprioritize your life. But Jason, he's a great driver, and if he wanted to do Grand Circuit fully, he would, we all know that he would dominate it at that too. So, Jason's number 6 on mine. Broski, go ahead.
All right, my number 6. God, this one is up for a little, interpretation, but it's the homemade cold cut sandwich. No, what this is, you got your options here, but this is what, you make at home with the cold cuts you buy from the deli, from the grocery store. So, unless you're a real fancy sandwich maker, I know I'm not. So my sandwiches are pretty simple, but a little plain ham and Swiss, maybe slather a little mayo on there, turkey and Swiss. So, the sandwich you make yourself, just that quick homemade cold cut sandwich. That's my number 6.
Do you when you go to the are you mixing cold cuts? Are you doing turkey and ham, or maybe turkey roast beef, or are you just picking one and that's it? You're sticking with
No,
that for the day?
I'll mix it up sometimes. I could do turkey, ham, and Swiss. Yeah, for sure.
Do you mix your cheeses too?
You know what? I
Like
haven't really thought about doing that, but I don't. It could be an option in the future.
What's your go-to bread?
I used to like white bread, but like we were talking about trying to be healthy, I go with like the whole grain, the whole wheat bread.
I have a suggestion for the bread: Hawaiian rolls.
Oh,
Okay.
They're so good. They're just so soft. And so yummy.
Okay. So now, do you try to get do you pile on the lettuce and the tomato and stuff, or you just try to keep it simple?
Me personally, I try to keep it simple, not too much vegetables. Maybe a little lettuce. I don't. When I'm doing that, I try to keep the sandwich small. I don't want it to be falling all over the place. So I'm lazy. So when I'm making myself a sandwich, it's pretty much the bare minimum.
Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much a broski. Usually I just throw some cheese, throw some meat, a little piece of bread, mayo, and I'm happy.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
Quick lunch.
Here's the ultimate question though: mayo, Miracle Whip, or ranch?
I'm a Hellman's mayo guy.
Yeah, me too. I'm a mayo guy.
Okay. I used to be Miracle Whip for everything.
Okay.
But now I just ranch on everything.
Okay.
Ranch on my pizza, ranch on my...
Respectable.
Yeah. So, Jay, let's solidify our 6 to 10. Let's go back. We've solidified number 7. Trace Tetrick is the Caesar wrap of harness racing. I'm willing to concede that John Campbell is the Oreo sandwich of harness racing. Okay.
Yeah.
Because been around a long time, steady, stable. You know what you're gonna get, and it's still one of the best.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that
flat
sounds
out.
good. Yeah.
Flat out. So now here's the issue. I think we need to boot Doug McNair off the list because he's only on your list. He's not on mine because I bumped him for Scott Zeron. So can we agree on that?
Yeah, so you want to go... We want to go Scott Zeron at number 9?
No, hold on. I'm willing to bump McNair, and I'm willing to bump Corey Callahan. So you're going to bump McNair,
Okay.
I bump Corey Callahan. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair.
So number 10 is Campbell. He's the Oreo cookie sandwich. Who's going to be... So we have Zeron, we have Mika Fours, and we have Jason Bartlett. I have Aaron higher, so I think he should be up higher. So we have 3 spots. Are we okay with, we have Zeron? I'm even willing to bump George Knapp. I'll bump George Knapp for Mika Force.
Okay, so you want to go Mika Force 9, Zeron 8? Or do you want to switch?
Yeah, no, Mika Force 9. So Mika Force is the cheesesteak.
Mm-hmm.
Of Mika Fours is the cheesesteak of harness racing, and we will revisit. And Scott Zeron is the Pb&J, and I think Pb&J is very versatile, like Scott Zeron. So okay, so just to revisit, Campbell number 10, the Oreo cookie sandwich of harness racing. Mika Fours number 9, the cheesesteak of harness racing. Scott Zeron number 8, the peanut butter and jelly of harness racing. Number 7, Trace Tetrick, the Caesar wrap sandwich of harness racing. Jason Bartlett, number 6, the homemade cold cut sandwich of harness racing. You guys ready for our top 5?
I've actually, once you mentioned the global thing, I slipped somebody in a little later, so this guy got bumped down. I have Yannick Gingras, which sounds crazy to rank him number 5 because he dominates the earnings total every damn year. But he has the luxury of driving for the 2 most dominant stables in the world, where some of those horses are just absolute no-brainers, where any of these guys would, pilot them to victory. But Yannick is no doubt a supreme talent. There's a reason why he gets those horses. And I have him at number 5, and you're not going wrong with number 5, but that's the only reason I say is because not all these drivers have the luxury of getting the Jimmy Takter gorilla of each year.
Okay. My number 5 is Tim Tetrick. I feel that Tetrick just hasn't won the amount of races in the last couple of years. Like when he came out east, he won everything. And just the last couple of years, he's not winning them. He's finishing second or third. And just there's Yannick's winning all of them. So in my opinion, Yannick is higher on my list. So I'm going to go with Tim Tetrick here at number 5. Broski? Who's your number 5 sandwich?
All right, number 5, I've got the meatball sub. So, I usually like to go with, some marinara sauce on there. Definitely toasted, some mozzarella, maybe a little, sprinkle some Parmesan on there, maybe a little basil, something like that.
Okay.
So, a nice meatball sub.
Is there anything else you can add to the meatball sub, or that's pretty much it? Just some cheese, some basil, and that's pretty much it?
Yeah, I feel like that, you keep it very Italian,
Okay.
because I feel like
over
you may mess it up if you go crazy.
Jay, anything on the meatball sub? It's a great choice.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with meatball sub. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So
fantastic.
that's number 5. My number 4 driver is Purple Jesus, Dave Miller. Dude won 5 Breeders' Crowns a couple years ago. Had the fastest horse 2 years ago. But kind of the same thing this year. Kind of a fall. I mean, I know he drove Fear the Dragon, but it was kind of a down year for Dave Miller. So, I mean, not really, but it kind of was in comparison to when you win 5 Breeders' Crowns a couple years ago. It's kind of like, oh, well, if you don't win any, did he win any this year? I don't think he won any. He won 1, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's number 4. Who's your number 4, Jay?
David Miller.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we agree. David Miller's number 4.
Yeah, we don't need to say anymore. He's phenomenal. The night when he won 5 crowns was ridiculous, and that alone keeps him in the top 5.
Yeah. Broski, who's your number 4 sandwich?
Okay, so since we reached a consensus, then Dave Miller is the Turkey Club of horse racing.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I like me a good turkey club. You've got the turkey, the mayonnaise, the bacon. You can't go wrong with the bacon.
Absolutely
You've got your
not.
lettuce. One of the best things, though, about the turkey club is, the layers. Sometimes you gotta be careful with the toothpick. You know, be careful.
Oh.
Don't stab yourself with the toothpick. I've done that before. It's not fun. So be careful with that. But you know, a good turkey club. You know, when I'm looking for something light, that's not a chicken Caesar wrap. This is the high up light option. When because I'm adding in the bacon. That's a little not as healthy. So the turkey club, I do like me a good turkey club.
Jay, do you have any questions about how Broski, all the other condiments and things involved in his turkey club?
No, I'm good. I'm a big turkey club guy, but I like them anyway. I'm not picky at all.
Okay, what kind of bread, Broski, on your turkey club?
Again, we could go, a lot of options, but probably mostly white and wheat bread.
Okay, I like rye bread on my turkey club. Okay, I like that. And do you go mustard or mayo or none?
I usually go mayo. I have had mustard sometimes, but usually the staple for me is the mayo.
Jay, what about you?
Yeah, mayo's pretty much my go-to.
Okay, here's what pisses me off. I hate when I go to a diner and I order a turkey club with no tomato and mayo, okay? That they bring me those little shitty packets of mayo, and
Yeah.
I have to put it on myself. So I gotta unpeel, pull out the toothpick, and spread it on myself. No, I'm paying you $9.95 for a goddamn turkey club. You put the fucking mayo on. That's what I'm paying you for. So if a waitress, it's the only time I won't tip, okay? Or I'll give less than 20%. I'm a generous tipper. Gosh darn it. But when they bring the mayo out and those little packets and I got to do it myself, that's what annoys me. So
or the little plastic cup, right?
Yeah. So Jay, it's number 3 time. Is it my turn or your turn? Your turn. Your turn, Jay.
It's my turn.
Who's your number 3?
I slipped in my international pick.
Okay.
The God, Bjorn Goop. Bjorn, if Americans had more exposure to Bjorn Goop, you would understand how good this guy is. He is absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, it's just ridiculous how good. I wish he would come over to America more so people could appreciate the magic of Bjorn, because he just has unreal hands. He understands a race so well. He's just phenomenal. There's a reason why he's top, always the top guy in Europe. He's my number 3 here, but I could easily see an argument for him number 1.
My number 3 is Aaron Merriman. So I put the amount of work and the amount of wins that he does over, because he has to be successful more times, and he's been on this incredible work ethic. And I just think that it doesn't get appreciated enough. Liz, what guys like Dave and Tim do is phenomenal, but I also think it's a wear and tear, and for Aaron to just keep doing it and to do it with all of these different horses, to me, it just gets underlooked and underappreciated. And I just think that Aaron, he's my number 3 driver. So, Broski, who's your number 3?
All right, at number 3, I've got the bacon, egg, and cheese. Now, with the bread, we could go with a few different options here. We could go with the bagel, and we could go with the hard roll. We could go with bread. So, that's up in the air.
The McGriddle.
That's true, too.
I was going to say the McGriddle. Yeah, or a biscuit. Listen, a biscuit.
Yeah, so the bread on that is interchangeable. You can mix that up. But, really, can you go wrong with the bacon, egg, and cheese for breakfast in the morning? I don't think so.
Okay, listen, Irv is going to hate me for this, but you know what? He allowed me to film it, so you can go back and watch the Irv Miller 2-year-old videos and see the actual process. But Irv Miller makes the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, okay? And here's how he does it. He takes hamburger rolls, okay? Now, I know what you're thinking, hamburger rolls. What he does is, he doesn't put it traditionally. He flips those sons of bitches upside down, okay? So he puts the bacon, egg, and cheese on the top of the bread, so it's flipped over, and then he fries those in butter, so he can actually press. Yes, I'm telling you. And what he does is pepper jack cheese.
Okay.
Game changer. So I know he's gonna hate me. I don't know if he's watching. Irv is a big dude. He's scary, I really hope that he doesn't do something harmful to me. I'm sorry, Marcus and Hannah, for revealing, and Brandon and Atlee for reveal, but I had to because it's the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich I've ever had in my life. So, do you have any, Jay? Do you have any alterations to that?
No, I'm gonna have to try that out. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, that sounds like something else. So do you guys go with the salt, pepper, ketchup usually? Because I'm like, sometimes I'll do it, sometimes I won't. No
On
ketchup for you?
Sausage, egg, and cheese, I do ketchup.
Okay.
Not bacon. I don't like that taste. I like sausage, though. So
Okay.
that's the only time I'll do ketchup. Not ham. I prefer ham, egg, and cheese over the other three, but just because I like ham better than the other two.
Okay.
So, Jay, you ready for number 2?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. My number 2 is Yannick. So, as I know what you were saying before with Tactor and Burke, but it's not just Tactor and Burke. It's a lot of horses in that realm. And I think that Yannick, other than maybe Father Patrick, hasn't lost any races. Like, yes, it's real. I think it's real hard to go into a race with a favorite and not fuck it up. And I think he's done that fantastically. You know, and even Father Pat, whatever. That was years ago. But, I mean, last year, the last Hambletonians, he did all he can do. I think the horse let him down over anything. But he won 4 Breeders' Crowns this year. I mean, I value that more than what Aaron did, slightly.
I'm pretty sure my number 2 is not even on your list. And this is my hottest take. I will go to the grave saying this is the most talented driver I've ever seen in my life. It's Brian Sears.
Okay.
He does not press himself to travel and work as hard as he once did, but that man can get so much speed and so much strategy out of a horse. It just blows my mind. Like, if I was ever going to have a Hambletonian contender, Brian Sears is my number 1 pick to drive that horse no matter what. And I think that speaks to how good I think he is. And he's won numerous Hambletonians, numerous big races, and he doesn't like have an account that he just drives for. People just put him up because they know he's that good.
I really went back and forth on Sears, and I kind of felt like if he's not 1 or 2, then I really can't put him on the list. And I think that there's been a decline. I mean, one, he's taken the winters off more than like anybody else. And I mean, yes, he won the Yonkers Trot, and a couple years ago he won the Hambletonian, but there is a visible decline, whether it's, and I don't think it's a decline in his skill. It's just, you just don't see him as much anymore, and he's not driving as much. And, you know, I mean, he's an honorable mention. He is, I mean, if we were doing a top 10 list of all time.
I'll say it right now. I'll put it on this thing. He's going to win the Hambletonian this year.
Yeah, no, listen, I think that's, it's like a different list, because I think that, yes, he's in that spot where if there's a horse available, he's going to drive it. But I think this is a different kind of list, and I just don't see Brian Sears making an impact overall like these other guys will. And that's why I kept him off the list. Yes, he could step in and win every race, but realistically, so could Campbell, and so could some of these other guys. So, I mean, yes, Sears is top 5 all time, but I think different list. Is that fair?
Yeah, I could see that. I just, I think when when the money's down, like I ask a lot of guys, like, oh, what driver do you want when the money's down? It's always Brian Sears.
Yeah.
When it's $1 million race, he finds a way. He just always does.
Broski, who's your number 2?
All right. So coming in at number 2, I've got I guess I say cheeseburger, but I guess burger, really anything. So, yeah, again, this can be up for, it's very subjective, but, I'm an American, so I love me a good burger. Throw it on the grill up some beef, maybe throw some bacon on there, some cheese, a lot of options with the bun. You could go crazy. You can have a hot dog with the burger. The hot dog is not making an appearance on this list. I'm sorry to disappoint people, but, the hamburger slides in there at number 2.
Broski, do you go like crazy on your burgers, or do you just like burger, some cheese. Do you like bacon? Do you like lettuce, tomato, onions, barbecue sauce, ketchup, mustard? What are your condiments on there?
Usually I don't go crazy. A lot of times I will just, throw together, because I'll have probably a couple of them. If I grill them myself, I'll probably just throw the cheese on there, maybe a little bit of ketchup and then right on the bun. But, if I'm going out and having a burger, then, I'll have a little lettuce on there, maybe a little tomato. I'm not a huge tomato fan, but, some bacon, some... cheese. I mean, I guess American would be the staple, but you can mix it up with whatever you want. I do sometimes like the burgers that are cooked with the stuff inside, the bacon cheddar inside or stuff like that. So those are good.
Jay, what's your favorite? Do you want me to give my favorite burger and I will fight people for it, or Jay, do you want to go take it?
Sure, you can name it. And I'll chime in.
White Castle. Best burgers ever.
Come on, what the?
Best burgers ever. Best burgers ever. They made a movie, 2 movies out of it because they are so good, those White Castle burgers.
You should be absolutely ashamed of yourself.
How? Well, White Castle burger. People travel long distances for White Castle burgers because they are so good.
Because of the novelty, not because they're actually good.
Because they're so good. Oh my God.
Because lots of people smoke weed and they get hungry late at night.
Listen, the onions steaming, rising through the bread, it's magic. And just, I think
and you
the
can't
way,
get the smell out of your car for 6 months.
Listen, that's the risk you're willing to take. It's better than McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, any of these other fresh, not frozen burgers. No, get out of here. Five Guys, In-N-Out, Steak Shack, all these burger places, White Castle has the best fast food burger.
Oh, no. For one, you need to come taste a Cookout burger down in the South.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying fast food burger.
No, like Cookout is a fast food brand.
Oh, Cookout. No.
Yeah.
No.
And
Broski, do you put onion rings? Do you guys put onion rings on your burgers?
Ooh, sometimes.
You know, yes. I'm a big. I like a fried egg on my burgers.
Okay.
That's my big. If I see that on a menu, I'm always ordering it.
You're all about that life. Any other burger thing? Do you like sesame seeds on your bun, Broski?
Yeah, I could go either way. I don't hate the seeds, but yeah,
they just seem tasteless to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I guess they get stuck in your teeth. That's a little annoying, but eh.
All right, so here's what we're going to do for this list. Jay's going to give his number 1. I'm going to give my number 1. We're going to hash out this top 5, and then Broski's going to give his top sandwich. Okay? That's how we're going to do this last part. So, Jay, who's your number 1 driver?
My number 1 driver is somebody you have already named, but I just think he is the hardest working, with the most talent, with the past performance to back it all up. Tim Tetrick. He drives a ton. He races at Dover and Harris, so that's why I think his earnings. Last year, for example, he would have been the earnings title winner over Yannick if he had Wallner. He would have easily. Wallner would have dominated, and he would have had an extra $2 million on his card. And there you go, Tim Tetrick's your earnings leader. Despite he'll occasionally get the second callings for Burke and Tactor. He got it with bar hopping, and he immediately won Breeders' Crowns with them. And he does it with he doesn't get the 2 top stables, but he always gets the call from the Toscanos and the DiDomenicos and them, and he just consistently does well. And he has such an accomplishment list, it's ridiculous. And I just think with that and the fact that he drives regular horses constantly and wins with them at high clip, it's still
well said. Tim's one of the best. I don't really know what else to say. So it's Bjorn. It's Bjorn Goop. It's always Bjorn. Listen, those are his goddamn colors. Okay, that's him winning the goddamn Elite Lob. I don't have a picture of him winning the goddamn Prix d'Amérique. Those races are bigger than any American race we got. I'll say it. Campbelltonian's number 3. I'm sorry. Those races are bigger. They're more important. He won them both this year. And he's the biggest superstar in Europe. He's actually got a brand. He gets paid for sponsorships. He's got a huge following. He puts a picture up on Instagram. It gets 5,000 likes. I mean, he's a superstar. There's no other way to actually describe what he does. And Broski, he won 12 driving titles in a row. Okay, I don't know anybody on this list that's won 12 driving titles in a row. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe Campbell did. I'm not sure. But dude is number one, and he's still, he's 40 or 41. So he's right. He's not declining. He's not going to be, he's the best driver. And if he came over here, he would absolutely, he's got a bigger stable than mostly everybody except for Ron Burke. He may actually have a bigger stable than Ron Burke. So he drives and trains. So he's got everything. To me, he drives everywhere. He's the biggest superstar. He's number one. Fight me, please. I will defend my man Bjorn till the grave. So, Broski or Jay. So let's hash out this top five.
Before we find out the number one sandwich.
Yes.
Or?
No. Hold off on the number one sandwich. Let's hash out this top one.
Okay.
Okay. So I have Aaron, T-Trick, Sears, Goop, Miller, and T-Trick, Sears, Goop, Miller, Aaron, and Yannick.
So I had Aaron at 6, so I feel like Aaron at 5 is a pretty good compromise.
Fine. Now one's going to have to get cut off this list. Is it Sears because he's not on my list?
I guess since he's not even on your list, I feel like it's impossible to have him in the consensus top 5.
Or are we bumping people down? Because I don't think of this list that Sears fits this list, and it's not a slight on Sears. It's just my list is a different view of this than maybe yours is. So what do you want to do? You want to bump people down?
Yeah, I guess if we're going by like those rules, we can take him out because I was just basically going on pure talent and like who I would want to drive my horse. Where we're going more on like general accomplishments and work.
Well, how about this?
I can see it.
We will do a special part for Sears on this. Is if you have a horse to drive, come stake season. He did it with Pinkman. He did it with Down by the Seaside. If Yannick and Tim and Dave Miller have 2 horses to drive, and they're really good, and you need somebody to drive your horse, Sears is available. It's almost guaranteed.
Yeah, it's always Brian Sears, and you better be shaking in your boots if you're the person owning the other horse that Brian Sears isn't going to blow past you in the biggest race of the year.
Absolutely. Control the Moment. Down by the Seaside, Pinkman, Broski. He picked up these drives. These other guys were driving them. Yannick was driving, Pinkman. He picked off in the Hamiltonian. Sears jumped on, won the Hamiltonian. Control the Moment. Guy up in Canada was driving it. They fired him, put Sears on. Control the Moment went on to win the Meadowlands Pace and every other.
And then he got hurt.
Right. And then the horse got hurt. Last year, Brian Brown had Down by the Seaside and Fear the Dragon, 2 horses in the same division. Dave Miller was driving both of them. He picked Fear the Dragon. Sears got the drive on Down by the Seaside. Ended up becoming 3-year-old pace of the year. So, that's what Sears does. So we'll make Sears a separate category. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 5 is Aaron. So number 5 is Aaron Merriman is the meatball sub of harness racing. Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay. Now we have teacher.
Consensus.
Yes.
Well, we consensus on 4.
Yes. Consensus. David Miller is the Turkey Club of harness racing. Congrats, Dave. Now we have top 3. Teatrick, Yannick, Goop. Yes. Yannick is 3.
I'd say Yannick 3, Teacher 2, Bjorn 1.
There we go. We have it. So Yannick is 3. So Yannick, congratulations. You are the bacon, egg, and cheese of harness racing.
Yep.
Tim Tetrick, congratulations. You are now the burger of harness racing. Now, Bjorn Goop, congratulations, my man Bjorn. Broski, tell everybody what Bjorn Goop is of harness racing.
And this is a huge honor. This sandwich.
Oh,
man.
I'm so excited.
So, Bjorn Goop is the chicken parm.
Oh! Farm Hero, Bjorn. How about that?
Where'd you find this?
If I'm craving any sandwich, that's my go-to. I just love me a good chicken parm hero, man. So, Bjorn, it's a great honor. You're the chicken parm hero of horse racing.
Describe your chicken parm. Yeah, I mean, let people sink into your chicken parm. How
Okay,
are you cooking it? Give us the details, bro.
Right. I like a nice long submarine roll. And it's always toasted. So you got your marinara sauce on there. You got the mozzarella. Maybe some Parmesan too. Like we mentioned before with the meatball sub. You can make it very Italian. You put some spices on there and whatnot. But what really makes it great is that the breaded chicken really adds to it, because the breading on the chicken just adds that flavor, so you get a nice seasoning on that breading of the chicken, and then that's really what makes it just makes it so much better than the meatball sub, because meatballs are great, but they're balls of meat. There's so much more you can do with that breaded chicken.
They're balls of meat.
I mean, right?
Quote,
Hey,
meatballs are just balls of meat. I love it. That's the quote of the year.
Right? So yeah, I gotta go with the chicken parm.
Chicken parm. Jay, do you have any alterations to your chicken parm? What kind of cheese do you have, Broski?
I prefer mozzarella and Parmesan, but
Okay.
Maybe a little provolone sometimes.
Okay. Jay, what do you think about the list overall? And is chicken parm your number one sandwich?
It's not. It would be number 2, I think.
Okay.
But where Broski is not a big Philly cheesesteak guy, I am a massive Philly cheesesteak guy.
Okay.
I love Philly cheesesteaks, despite never actually being in Philadelphia to get a authentic one.
That's true.
I can see
I would
that.
actually rank a bacon, egg, and cheese or the breakfast sandwich number 1, just because I eat that more than the other ones, and it's something that I just go to. But yeah, chicken parm will be number 2, and a burger. I like a black bean burger. Actually, I go with a little more modern, flavor. I don't like the avocado on it, but black bean burger. That's a pretty good thing. So that's my top 3. Jay puts his cheesesteak up in there. Any alterations or any missing, Jay, from your list?
I thought I would love to see a BLT on there. I'm a big BLT guy. That's my common lunch meal if I'm at a restaurant. So that would have been my one addition.
That's a good one. I didn't think of that one.
I think you get that covered though with the turkey club though. I mean, it's essentially the same.
I guess you could throw it into that category. Yeah.
It's very similar. Yeah. You take the turkey out, and you've got a very, very similar.
Yes. So overall, Broski, what do you think of our drivers list? How we describe the drivers to you? Again, Broski knows nothing about these guys. So, what were we favorite towards some, or what do you think of our list?
I feel like your guys' list, some of the, obviously because I don't know a lot. Some of the names I don't know, but some of the names I have heard before, just from talking to you guys and, the little exposure that I have had from the horse world. So, I've heard of John Campbell, and we've talked about Tim Tetrick before, and Bjorn and these guys. So, I feel like all of the guys that you guys put on your top 10 are definitely guys that deserve to be on this list. They're prominent guys in this sport, and young and old, we've got both on there. So, I think it's a good list. It seems like, from what I have hardly any idea of what's going on in the sport, really. So, but from what you guys described to me, if I had to, if you guys told me those are the top 10 guys that are the best in the sport, I'd be like, okay, it sounds like I can believe that. Those guys sound pretty damn good.
Jay, our top 2 list, right? Look, what's the glaring thing that sticks out with Bjorn and Tim Tetrick? What's the glaring thing that sticks out?
Branding.
Yes.
They're
Absolutely.
both massive brands. Shout out to Ashley Tetrick.
Yes, those 2 brands, Tetrick Racing and Bjorn Goop, are probably the only 2 brands bigger than the TrotCast, and I'll admit it. So they deserve what they've accomplished and what they work for. and they understand like, you know, like there's other money to be made on sponsorships and advertising and merchandise. I mean, you know, there's money to be made, and there's people that want to see it. So we want to push all these other guys. Like, I'm not saying that you'll be bigger than Bjorn and Tetrick, but there's money to be made if you focused on doing what Bjorn and Tetrick do, right, Jay?
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Broski.
Oh no, I was just gonna say kind of like what Ryan was saying before, like, you know, Bjorn is posting pictures on social media and everything. You know, I feel like if people were to do that in the States, like, you know, maybe you wouldn't get a lot of people into it, but you're definitely gonna reach some people. Like, you know, if you're a young, semi-successful driver and, you know, you post goofy pictures on Instagram, like, kids are gonna get into that. Like,
I mean,
they'll definitely.
Just looking at what Tetrick's done with like his own social media. I mean, he has 15,000 likes on his Facebook page, which is, you know, very impressive for a harness driver. It blows out anybody who even else attempts to it.
Okay.
And I mean, he gets hundreds of likes on. He just shares what else like they find on the internet, like cool horse stuff, cool horse racing things. He kind of is it's almost like a news hub. He does better than some of the actual news hubs of harness racing.
So overall, we want to push more people towards it. This list is great. We had a little fun with it. I hope people get annoyed with it, because send us your list and let us know who we snubbed. And if you felt snubbed, I don't know, do better or something like that. What do you want me to tell you?
Get good,
like,
right?
Get good.
Yeah. Are you really offended by not being on our top 10 list? And or if you're, I should be 4 instead of 5. Like, if you're gonna get aggravated over this list, like, maybe you should reprioritize your life. I think that's gonna be a shirt, because I've said that multiple times. Like, just think about what you're doing. But overall, I had fun with this list. Did you guys have fun?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do more lists
fun.
like this, but and we have the final 4 coming up. Spoiler alert from Harness My Take, so tune in next week for that. We narrowed down our we narrowed down a list. I'm not gonna give you. You got to go and watch. So anything else we got to go over, guys?
No, I think we're good. We did some work there, boys.
Broski, tell us tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Oh. You can find me right here.
Right here.
And on Harness My Take. There you go.
There you go. I'm Ryan Macedonio. You can find everything at TrotCast.com. Add Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, website, YouTube, all that fun stuff. Go back and watch all the other videos. Share, like, add. Go add Bjorn Goop on Instagram, Tetrick Racing, Facebook. All the other guys, find them on Twitter. Bug them, be like, did you see that Ryan put you number 3 instead of number 2? I think it's bullshit. And take us away, Jay.
I am Jay Hochstetler. You can find me on Twitter at JD Harness. Thank you for listening and join the revolution.